All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is my Flywoo Explorer LR4. It's a tiny little 4-inch long-range quadcopter. Really fun little bird to fly. At one point in time, I had early on crashed this and broken this antenna. Not this particular one, but I replaced it. And at the time, I had ordered a couple of replacement antennas. And I had also ordered a complete frame kit that came with an antenna. Well, I already had that, so I took the antenna out of that kit, put it on, and after a little bit, I just realized that, you know what, I'm not getting as good a reception as I had been getting. And I wasn't really sure why. I mean, I had the Flywoo antenna on there, should be right. And a friend of mine mentioned something about Flywoo putting out some left-handed antennas, and I knew that on my other quads and this one I had a right-handed antenna, and on my goggles I have a right-handed antenna. And before we go any further there, I'm going to show you something about antennas. They do indeed have right and left-handed antennas. This is a little pagoda style antenna. Unfortunately, the top can come off. This one is right-handed, and on it, if I can get the top to pop off here, usually it just comes right off. There we go. You can see that the coils inside of here, I hope that's focusing on it, the coils inside of here come out from the center and curve to the right. They curve to the right all the way around. So this is going to send out a signal in a giant spiral around that curves to the right. Well, if this antenna, this right-handed antenna, is on your drone, then you need to have a right-handed antenna on your goggles in order to get proper reception. If you don't have the right one, you have a left antenna instead, you're still going to get reception. It's just not going to have nearly the range that you're going to want. So that's a right-handed antenna. The original one on here was right-handed. I went and looked, and sure enough, I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's an L. There's an L on there, meaning this is a left-handed antenna, and I have right-handed antennas on everything else. So I'm going to need to change this out today. And I do have a brand new right-handed antenna from Flywoo right here. So we are going to put this on today. I'm going to need my handy-dandy little screwdriver here. Great little repair set I got here. It's really for doing like cell phones and computer kind of stuff, but it has just all kinds of bits, as you can see here. Everything I need in here. So this particular quad uses a 1.5 millimeter hex nut, and we're going to need to take the top plate off of here. You can do this without taking the top plate off. However, it's not nearly as convenient. It's a lot harder to get to the parts that you need to get to. So this part of the video is going to be a little bit boring while I'm taking all these screws out. Today is a rather cloudy day. I don't see it actually raining right now, but it's pretty darn windy, dreary. Definitely looks like it could rain. It's not going to be a flying day, so that's why I decided to do this repair here today. Yup. This takes a little while to get all these nuts and bolts out of here. This top plate is held on by eight M2 screws. You know, another thing that if you get into this hobby you're going to want to buy is a big old kit of different metric bolts, screws. I mean, I just bought one the other day, and oh, look at that! I just turned on my my beeper here, my buzzer. I'll get that shut off here in just a second. I think we got her off of there now. Yes, we do. We can leave that bolt in there. I gotta shut this off now. Alright, that's turned off. We'll set the top plate aside over here. Now, the antenna is pushed down through this nice little TPU mount here. and it runs down to that gold connector right there. Tiny little thing. I'm going to attempt to pop this off of here. Yep, came right off of my finger. You can see how just itty bitty teeny tiny this thing is. And then this just extracts straight out of there like that. Now, I'm not going to get rid of this antenna. It's just not the right one for this setup. So I'll save it in case I need it for something else. Or in a pinch, I could put it back on if I have no other antennas and still be able to fly, just won't have the range. Okay. So here is the new Flywoo Atomic 5.8 gigahertz UFL antenna. Right-handed. It's got the R on top there, if you can see that. So this can be a little tricky here. We're going to feed this back down through this TPU mount. And I want to bring it out underneath the radio antenna. Alrighty. Now, I'll get this radio transmitter out of the way there. Now, I've got to get this tiny little deal back onto that mount. And although you're not going to really be able to see as I do it, I've got it kind of lined up there. Just trying to get it set on top of it where it needs to be. And then I'm going to press. Not on there just yet. This is not the best tool to be using for this. There we go. Popped right on there. Just give it a little bit more pressure here just to make sure. Okay, so it's sitting on there just about how I want it. I want to make sure that this tube is pushed down in just to where it starts to come through the bottom there a little bit. Okay. Everything looks good. We're going to set our... I really need to strap that down a little bit. Alright, we're going to set our... get our radio transmitter back in there. Radio receiver, sorry. Alright, well, we're ready to reinstall the top plate. Make sure that our battery cable is lined up here properly. And let's get this, I left this one bolt in here. That's a little bit harder to get to. Let's get that one started down in. Now, I usually don't tighten these down all the way immediately, because there might be some things you gotta work with, and one of the things is just getting the camera mount back in place there. There we go. Alright, let's get this other rear M2 screw back in. Alright, we'll just take it just down to where it stops turning freely. Trying to get to where you can see what I'm doing a little bit, but you know what I'm doing. I'm just putting bolts in. It's nice to have this setup that's actually got a little tool in the toolkit here to magnetize these bits so that I can pick them up with this. Look, I don't even need to grab them with my fingers. I just pick right up. That is a very nice little touch. Oopsies. Oh, I wish it was sunny out today and 0 wind and 70 degrees. That would make for a much nicer day, and I'd be flying right now. I will get onto the flight simulator here in a little while and play around on there. It's kind of fun. You can still do that through your goggles and get a pretty good experience. I mean, nowhere near as fun as real flying, but it's entertaining on a rainy day. All right, so they're all in there. I'm just going to give them a good cinching down here. Obviously, you can't see what I'm doing. Just giving a good twist there to make sure they're tight. Ooh, now I'm starting to strip out just a little bit. I'm going to need to replace that one next time, which is why you get yourself a big old kit of bolts. Ooh, this one's starting to strip out too. So yeah, I got a couple I'm going to need to replace next time. Hopefully it's not my tool stripping out. Alright, and of course I started up the buzzer again. Alright, that one's turned off. Okay, so our right-handed antenna is now installed to go along with my right-handed receiver antennas on the goggles. So we should be good to go. Hope you enjoyed seeing that. I'll take this out for a test as soon as I get a good day. Alright, everybody have a good day and stay in the air.